What is good, people? Satsuki the Savage here, and today is going to be a Kakegurui video dedicated to the student council, old and new. Now, I won't be including any members from Twin, so you don't have to be worried about getting spoiled on a spin-off or anything like that. But there will be manga spoilers. If you're anime only, be warned. Manga spoilers ahead. Now, as to the actual content in the video, what I'll be doing is giving a brief overview of the characters and also talking about why I like the character or dislike the character, whatever. And I'll also rate the student council in accordance to my preference of the characters, you know, how much I like them, all right? And it's just based off of my preference and nothing else, all right? So, there also will be a skit in the video, so if you want to skip ahead and you don't want to watch that, I'll put a timestamp on the screen, like, right now, okay? So, with that being said, let's get started.
Now, listen here, rookie. Your job is simple, see? What you've been tasked to do is to profile the Hyakkaou Academy Student Council, you see?
Yeah?
You got to really know them, see them, hear them, feel them, smell them, taste them.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Excuse me. Now, while profiling them, put the evidence on the bulletin board right there in front of you. And after you're done profiling the POI...
What is a POI?
Are you fucking serious? POI stands for person of interest. Person of interest. Shit! What did they teach you knuckleheads at the academy? Because it damn sure ain't police work.
My bad?
But anyways, after profiling the person of interest, tell me something you like about them to prove that you embrace the challenge of getting to know them. Understand?
Yes.
Two more things to note. The gambling record for the POIs is only affected by named characters. We don't count wins or losses by unknown nobodies.
Alright, I got it.
Secondly, in the event of a gamble with multiple people involved in a free-for-all format, only those in first place will be considered winners. Everyone else will be considered losers. Understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Alright, now get your ass to work.
Alright, you told me everything that I have to do, but what exactly are you doing?
Just so bad, don't worry about what the fuck I'm doing. I'm ordering you around and making sure you don't fuck up. That's what I'm doing. Now get to it, rookie. 9 members of the student council, 9 POIs. And here's the order that you're going to be talking about them.
POI number 1, Itsuki Sumeragi, first year, role not specified, gambling debut, chapter 2, a boring girl, gambling record, 2 and 2, gambling history, win against Yumiko in double concentration, loss against Yumiko in double concentration, win in greater good against Yumiko, Ibara, Mayuta, and Miroslava, loss against Terano in a side bet on whether or not Mayuta would get 40 coins in the greater good gamble. Itsuki is the daughter of a wealthy man who is president of a renowned toy company in Japan. Through her father's riches, Itsuki is able to contribute more money than the average Hyakkaou Academy student, earning her a spot on the student council. After Itsuki's loss to Yumiko though, she was kicked out of the student council and never regained her position. Itsuki has ambitions to take over her family's business, and en route to that, sets the goal to become student council president at all costs. In the hopes of becoming president, Itsuki has bet an exorbitant amount of money and has even wagered her life. Currently in the story though, Itsuki plans to push Yumiko into becoming president, all for the sake of gaining power by association and eventually becoming president. Itsuki is actually one of the most sadistic characters in Kakegurui, as she finds pleasure in collecting freshly plucked nails of people. However, after Itsuki's loss to Yumiko, we haven't seen her indulge in her horrifying hobby, so whether she is still a twisted sociopath is up for our interpretation. It should be also noted that Itsuki loses her composure when she's put under pressure, evident by her crying after Yumiko's goading and her biting off her fingernails when betting her life. Itsuki is also very cunning and conniving, contrasting her normally cutesy appearance. She is willing to cheat in gambles, smart enough to deceive someone as perceptive as Miroslava, and is savvy enough to advertise her father's products in the middle of a gamble. Despite her problems, Itsuki is a wanted ally and a good friend. She supports Yumiko both financially and emotionally, often cheering for her success. Lastly, Itsuki has unrequited love for Mayuta. This love is deep enough that Itsuki risked a serious opportunity to become president, all in order to test the resolve of Mayuta after his depression. What I like about Itsuki is that she has a major presence in Hyakkaou Academy in spite of her being a first year. I also thoroughly enjoy her dynamics with other characters like Yuta, Yumiko, and especially Mary, who occasionally bickers with Itsuki because of her blatant attempts to manipulate Yumiko. Among my favorites of the student council, Itsuki ranks 4th.
Next.
POI number 2, Kaede Yuta, 2nd year, role, treasurer, gambling debut, chapter 23, The Selective Girl, gambling record, 0 and 2, gambling history, loss against Yumiko in choice poker, loss against Itsuki in greater good. As former treasurer of the student council, Yuta has access to a massive sum of money and power. On Yuta's recommendation, he was able to earn Itsuki a place in the student council, proving he has a lot of influence. Like Itsuki, Yuta has his sights set on becoming student council president, boldly proclaiming his goal in front of a crowd of Hyakkaou Academy students. To realize this goal, Yuta will ruthlessly throw his own peers under the bus, taking solace in Yumemite's public defeat because it meant that he had one less opponent to struggle with for power. The root of Yuta's cold personality can be traced back to his childhood. As a kid, Yuta's father planned out his life and instilled in him the importance of money and taking a high road. The high road in Yuta's case isn't being in a place of elevated morality, but instead practicality, which is reflected in the way Yuta thinks and gambles. Yuta is extremely calculated, usually always finding a way to maximize his reward while minimizing his risk. Yuta is highly intelligent, being able to predict the actions of people after some observation, although it seems he is still oblivious to Itsuki's feelings for him. Side note, Yuta might actually return Itsuki's feelings somewhat because, lights, he had to be restrained after trying to save Itsuki when he thought Miroslava attacked her, which seems like it got to save a whole moment to me. Yuta is also condescending to pretty much everyone. He looks down on all house pets and even belittled his fellow student council members, Yuriko and Midori, for their poor performances against Yumiko. However, after losing to Yumiko and becoming a house pet, Yuta's demeanor drastically changed. Yuta lost all of his confidence and bravado and didn't even care about his well-being any longer. Only through Itsuki's persistence and Yumiko's help did Yuta find the will to move forward again and gain a semblance of his old self back. It does seem, however, that Yuta still has a trace of his pompous attitude, as he felt the need to wipe his hands after high-fiving Ibarra. Yuta is a character I enjoy, as he is one of the few competent males in Kakegurui. Yuta was also involved in one of my favorite moments in the series, which is when he refused to gamble Yumiko. In addition, I find Yuta's quirk of adjusting his glasses with his middle finger hilarious, and I'm still mad that the anime excluded this habit to this day. Among my favorites of the student council, Yuta ranks 7th. POI number 3, Yumemite, 2nd year, role, head of public relations, gambling debut, chapter 20, perfectly trained girl, gambling record, 1 and 2, gambling history, loss against Yumiko in the top idol championship, win against Natari in active station, loss against Mary in rock, paper, scissors poker. Head of public relations and a part-time idol, Yumemite is one of the most prominent members of the student council. In her idol work, Yumemite has captured the hearts of many Hyakkaou Academy students with her good looks and singing ability. Even though Yumemite takes pride in her career as an idol, ever since a child, her true dream was to be an Academy Award-winning actress. In Yumemite's eyes, her path to becoming an actress is limited because of her living in Japan, and this sentiment was also expressed by her own mother, who doubted the success of a Japanese girl trying to walk the red carpet. Despite this, Yumemite decided that becoming an idol was her best bet to reach her acting goal, hoping to capitalize on her popularity and the power that Hyakkaou Academy holds. Yumemite has phenomenal work ethic, never giving a shortage of effort in her endeavors. The life of Yumemite mostly revolves around her work as an idol. She takes daily lessons, minds her manners in public, and behaves in a way to not jeopardize her career. Yumemite even goes as far as to memorize the names and faces of all of her fans and attend meet and greets with them, all in order to earn their loyalty, despite her vivid hatred for them. This lends into Yumemite's two-faced personality, as she puts up a facade as a sweet, kind-hearted angel, when in actuality, she is an arrogant, violent, vindictive woman. Yumemite often goes into fits of rage, especially when her dream is put into question. This, of course, is only behind closed doors. Yumemi is also very prideful, which we saw by her abruptly challenging Natari after being basically ignored as a potential threat in the election. Regardless of this pride though, Yumemi is not above using underhanded tactics to win a gamble, like bribery and manipulating her fans. On a different note, Yumemi does have some positive aspects to her character. After Yumemite's loss to Yumiko, she shockingly displayed grace in her defeat, even owning up to her disparaging words about her fans. Although we only see it sparingly, there's just the pure soft side to Yumemite. The hint we get of this is Yumemite ironically idolizing Natari. When Yumemite speaks about Natari, she does so with admiration and is uncharacteristically honest and humble. The list of the people Yumemite actually likes is short, but other than Natari, she appears to be fond of Saori and possibly Yuriko, Midori, and Yumiko, all people referred to by Yumemite as her favorites. As soon as I seen Yumemite for the first time, I figured that she would be one of my favorite characters. I love Yumemite's design. I think it's one of the most unique in Kakegurui, with her decorated school uniform, bright hair, and star pupils. More deeply though, I find it fascinating that Yumemite is naturally mean-spirited, yet can maintain the mask of a lovable idol. There's also Yumemite's diligence, which is probably her best quality. The hard work she puts in as an aspiring actress is exceptional. Among my favorites of the student council, Yumemite ranks first. POI number 4, Midori Ikishima, second year, role, head of the beautification committee, gambling debut, chapter 11 is Sighted Girl, gambling record, 1, 3, and 1, gambling history, loss against Kirari in unknown gamble, tie with Yumiko in ESP game, loss against Yumiko in finger cutting guillotine, win against Yuriko in rock paper scissors poker, loss against Yumiko in rock paper scissors poker. As head of the beautification committee, Midori has the power to arrest students, making her one of the highest authorities in the student council. Not surprisingly though, Midori doesn't do student council work often and mainly uses her position for her own personal benefit, such as restraining Yumiko and Suzui for a gamble. Through Midori's gambles, her masochistic personality is painfully apparent. She seeks thrill by constantly putting herself in danger. Aside from the suicidal risk, nothing really intrigues Midori. Not money, not status, not power. Her mind seems to be focused in one direction of self-destruction. Along with the fixation for self-harm, Midori is abnormally impulsive. As proof, there was a time she gouged out her own eye instead of taking an offer of surgery, on which she got so horny, she decided to, relieve herself by playing Russian roulette solo. Although Midori is fearless under most circumstances, she has been shown to be afraid when the sources of her stimulation are at risk. Two of those sources are Kirari and Yumiko, the people that Midori holds in absolute high regard. With Kirari, she was a person that dealt Midori a devastating loss, making Midori feel a sense of bliss she never felt up until that moment, and ever since then, Midori marveled at Kirari. However, after hearing about and actually gambling Yumiko once, Kirari was replaced by Yumiko as Midori's new goddess, aka her current target of obsession. Midori is smitten with Yumiko and is persistent to gamble with her no matter the time, place, or stakes. Unfortunately, these feelings are far from mutual. The rare occasions we see Midori distraught is when she gets rejected by Yumiko. As it pertains to Midori as a gambler, her abysmal record is not a good indication of her talent. Of course, with Midori being as bold as she is equipped to call bluffs, intimidate others with her confidence, and take high risks. Coupled with Midori's guts, an underrated aspect of her character is her wit. Conversely to Midori's wild looks and behavior, she has been shown to be gifted academically, and on top of that, she is perceptive. Lastly, Midori has the ability to lie as naturally as breathing air, despite her normally being brutally blunt. What's cool about Midori is that she stands out as one of the most eccentric characters in a series that hosts a slew of psychos. I don't think anyone can honestly say there is a boring moment with Midori on screen, and her interactions with Yumiko probably make their dynamic the best from an entertainment perspective. In saying all of this, I do think Midori can be a bit much at times, making her uncomfortably overbearing. Among my favorites of the student council, Midori ranks 6th. POI number 5, Sayaka Igarashi, second year, role, secretary, gambling debut, Chapter 30, The Offering Girl. Gambling record, 0-1. Gambling history. Lost to Yumiko in Tower of Doors. As secretary of the student council and Kirari's personal assistant, Sayaka is organized, proper, and meticulous.
Right.
Usually Sayaka tries to maintain order in a school and is not afraid to do so by force. Sayaka is an oddity because although she attends Hyakkaou Academy, which is notorious for gambling, she hates gambling. To be more specific, Sayaka hates the unfair advantage the house has in gambling, as well as the ugliness in broadcasting one's greed for all to see. One desire supersedes this hatred though, and that is to want to be number one in Kirari's heart. After Yumiko defeated Yuta soundly, Kirari seems to take an interest to Yumiko, much to the horror of Sayaka. During this time, many emotions were present in Sayaka's mind. The feeling of despair as the student council continued to be humiliated by a house pet, frustration at Kirari's secrecy, but the tipping point for Sayaka was the feeling that she was losing her place in Kirari's life, thanks to Yumiko. Thus, Sayaka challenged Yumiko despite her hatred for gambling, all to prove herself to her waifu, Kirari. A big part of Sayaka's character is her unwavering devotion to Kirari. It is love almost strong enough to be classified as an obsession. As to why Sayaka is committed to Kirari, it stemmed from Sayaka watching Kirari gamble and beat the former student council president. Sayaka was impressed by Kirari risking so much money and winning the gamble in one fell swoop, especially since Kirari was just a regular student at the time. From that point on, Sayaka resolved to be by Kirari's side and become the number one person in her heart. The drive that Sayaka possesses to be number one wasn't always exclusive to Kirari though, as before they met, Sayaka's attention was focused on academics. As noted by Midori, in middle school, Sayaka was a studying crackhead who spent all of her time with her face planted in books, earning her the nickname, the Brainiac. However, Sayaka didn't study religiously for any grandiose goal, she did it simply to be at the top, which is why Midori questions her intelligence. Either way, whether you want to attribute Sayaka's academics to hard work or natural genius, she is still smart. As her flashback showed, Sayaka was always top ranked in college trial exams, and we saw Sayaka's brilliance on full display in the Tower of Doors gamble. As for me, I've been on the fence with Sayaka for a long time. I don't hate her, but I'm also not overly fond of her either. Sayaka's a character that I usually ignore when she's on panel. I could be fatigued from seeing an influx of characters of Sayaka's ilk, which is the overly devoted assistant, which I've seen in Naruto, Bleach, Code Geass, and even Kakegurui with a couple of other characters. I think if Sayaka was less attached to Kirari, maybe I would like her more, but she still has other good qualities that make her okay in my eyes. Among my favorites of the student council, Sayaka ranks 8th. POI number 6, Yuriko Nishimoto, 3rd year, role, not specified, gambling debut, chapter 3, The Slit Eye Girl, gambling record, 2-2, gambling history, win against Mary in Life or Death, win against Yumiko in Life or Death, loss against Mio and Miri in Life or Death, loss against Midori in Rock Paper Scissors Poker. Head of the Traditional Culture Research Club, Yuriko reflects her role in the standard Japanese kimono she wears. Yuriko is usually calm and collected. She gives off the air of a refined woman, that is until she's provoked. When intimidated or on the verge of defeat, Yuriko loses all composure and her serene facade fades into oblivion. On multiple occasions, we've seen Yuriko crack under pressure, once when Yumiko shook her, twice after Sayaka challenged Yumiko, 3rd when the Momobami clan appeared, 4th when she lost against Mio, and 5th when she lost to Midori. There are 2 reasons why Yuriko is quick to lose herself when faced with adversity. For one, Yuriko is afraid of having to relinquish her status, along with the perks of being a member of the student council. 2, Yuriko is scared that her members of the Traditional Culture Research Club will go into pet ship without her presence. This fear that Yuriko has implies that she cares a great deal about the girls in her club, and is probably why she routinely cheats and gambles. When it comes to everyone else though, Yuriko is, in Yumiko's words, a thing of the likes of shit. Like a loan shark, Yuriko preys on the weak by offering them a sliver of hope in an already rigged game. There isn't much to say about Yuriko, and it's definitely not that much to like. To be fair now, Yuriko doesn't get much focus or panel time to shine, but when she does, I am never moved. For someone of Yuriko's stature, who is a part of the most powerful group in Hyakkaou Academy of all places, she is extremely underwhelming. Every time something doesn't go exactly as planned, Yuriko is drenched in sweat like she ran a fucking marathon. I don't respect Yuriko as a student council member, gambler, and barely as a human. I mean it when I say I think she is trash. Among my favorites of the student council, Yuriko ranks dead last in 9th. POI number 7, Runa Mizuki, 3rd year, role, not specified, gambling debut, not available, gambling record, 0 and 0, gambling history, none. Runa is our 4-3 leader of the election committee. As leader of the election committee, it is Runa's duty to manage the election by serving as a referee, explaining the rules, announcing who's leading, and most importantly, uphold the concept of absolute neutrality. Exactly how it sounds, absolute neutrality is staying as objective as humanly possible. Under this idea, even cheating is acceptable as long as it doesn't occur in an actual gamble, with an example being Mio poisoning Yumiko before their gamble, and Runa letting that have no bearing on the results. Now, although this absolute neutrality phrase was introduced during the election, the essence of the rule was already a part of Runa's character. Despite being a part of the student council and having relationships with the members, Runa seems to never take sides. Think back to when the student council was in shambles because of Yumiko. Runa did not seem to care at all, and even suggested without concern that Kirara could become a house pet. There's also the implication that Runa may have sent the ripped up fan letter to Yumiko that was used to blackmail Yumemi before their gamble, showing that Runa has no loyalty to her fellow student council members. Runa's goals are truly unknown. As Sayaka said, she is inscrutable, but I would guess that Runa simply relishes in chaos, much like Kirara. As for Runa's personality, for the most part, she is what we call chill. You can find Runa lazing around playing her PSP, eating sweets, and trolling others when she can. Runa also has a vibrant side to her, especially when speaking publicly, where she can come off as bubbly and innocent. However, this is Hyakkaou Academy and characters don't work like that, as Runa has a sinister streak to her. Cruel and maybe sadistic, Runa almost seems to take delight in other people's pain, like when she taunted Mary after she received her life plan. With Runa not gambling a single time in the story, one can only speculate her talent in the field, but with her position, attitude, and sharpness, she is most likely skilled. As a side note, Runa might be a fan of Natari, seeing how she got her autograph. Runa is a weird character, not because of her personality, but because I'm fond of her without her having to gamble. Usually characters showcase their good qualities via gambling, but Runa never had to. I like that Runa stays true to staying neutral no matter the situation or who's participating. She is the ideal referee and the lovable troll. Among my favorites of the student council, Runa ranks 5th. POI number 8, Rika Momo, 3rd year, role, vice president, gambling debut, chapter 40, enclosing girls, gambling record, 2 and 1, gambling history, loss against Mary in 100 votes gamble, win against Nozomi in Genrumi, win against Rin, Ibara, Aruka, Anzu, and Midori in war. Rika is none other than the vice president of the student council, as well as the identical twin sister of Kirara. As Kirara's twin, Rika has used her looks to disguise herself as her sister, but more amazingly, Rika can mimic her sister's mannerisms, even fooling Sayaka of all people. Much like Kirara, Rika is a god-tier gambler and has the utmost confidence in her skills. The only example needed is Rika's gamble with Rin, in which she was able to anticipate his schemes and demolish him despite being conspired against 5-1. Other than the looks and skills though, personality-wise, Rika is almost the complete antithesis of Kirara. Rika doesn't wear her mask for show. As it turns out, she is incredibly shy and introverted, using her mask sort of like a security blanket. When Rika is unmasked, she usually has a meat blush plaster over her face and scrambles for her mask to rid herself of embarrassment. Moreover, before the election began, Rika did not utter a word, with the exception of her pretending to be Kirara. However, with the insistence of Mary, Kirara wears the mask less and has been gradually overcoming her insecurities. Piling onto Rika's unique features, she appears to be somewhat compassionate, which is a rare trait in the Momobami clan. Unlike other members of the Momobambi clan, Ririka doesn't seem to find amusement at the expense of others and never showboats after a victory. Nevertheless, Ririka can be manipulative, shown by her arranging a match between Miri, Mio, and Yumiko, which got Yumiko poisoned, forcing Miri's hand. Now, while Ririka has exhibited deceitfulness, she has also expressed that she does not tell lies, which hasn't been invalidated yet. As for Ririka's motives, they still aren't crystal clear. Ririka has explicitly stated that she promised Kirari to fight alongside Mary to the end of the election, but we don't know why she made this promise. More often than not, I don't end up liking characters with Ririka's personality, but all it took was one gamble for me to change my mind on her. Sure, being a good gambler would make me more inclined to like a character, but with Ririka, it's not just her talent that makes me like her, it's her demeanor. The beauty of Ririka is that she is so unsuspecting. Her shyness works in her favor because I wouldn't expect someone like her to be so dominant in gambles. And to boot, I like Ririka's relationship with Mary. It's complicated, but cute. So that's another reason to root for her. Among my favorites of the student council, Ririka ranks second. POI number 9, Kirara Momo, 3rd year, role, president. Gambling debut, Chapter 44, Swarming Girls, Gambling record, 2-1, Gambling history, loss against Rin and Old Maiden, win against Horo and Unknown Gamble, most likely Texas Hold'em, win against Rin and Atari and Unknown Gamble, most likely Texas Hold'em. And finally, the Queen Bee, head of the Momobambi clan, the woman who holds the nation in the palm of her hands, Hyakkaou Academy Student Council President, Kirara Momo. If you couldn't tell by the titles, Kirara is the most powerful person in the series. In Kirari's position, money is no object and people's lives are trivial. She sits on a throne that others would literally kill for, ask Mio. As to how Kirara got in her position in the first place, she challenged to beat the former student council president, both proving her gambling aptitude and validating her place as leader of the Momobambi clan. Since Kirari's reign as student council president, she essentially made Hyakkaou Academy the powerhouse that it is now, as well as introduced the infamous pet system. As for Kirara herself, she holds no attachment to her power, as seen by her sudden decision to step down as president. Of course, with the president's seat vacant and power up for grabs, many people have chaotically fought to fill that position, much to the delight of Kirara. To Kirara, Hyakkaou Academy is her personal aquarium, isolated from the outside world and predicated on a law of survival of the fittest. Where the enjoyment kicks in is from Kirari's voyeurism. Kirara loves watching her fishes swim around, and she welcomes all tribulations that come with maintaining her aquarium. Even with people like Yumiko who disrupt Kirari's ecosystem, for Kirara, there is fun to be had with not being able to predict what will happen. Getting more personal, Kirara is mostly defined by her reckless and sadistic behavior. Through her gambling, we can see that Kirara is eerily similar to Yumiko and that those two will bet everything they have without flinching. In regards to the sadistic aspect, the mere fact that Kirara created a system in the school akin to slavery is all you need to label her. Another component to Kirara is her dominating presence. When she steps in the room, people immediately recognize her commanding aura. For example, the usually feisty Mary initially shrank in Kirara's company, and to this day, Kirara has free real estate in Rin's mind ever since she allowed him to win their gamble. As for leisure activity, Kirara's hobbies include savoring what she does not understand, as well as seeing people at their limit before their death. When it comes to Kirara's goals, she doesn't have anything concrete in mind, but Yumiko suspects that Kirara wishes to see herself at the brink of her own life before she ultimately passes on. I believe the biggest appeal to Kirara is her superiority. When I first saw Kirara, she had these scary eyes that pierce right through you, as well as an unsettling elegance that added on to her mystique. Also, with Kirara at the pinnacle, I always get the feeling that she has the world on a string, like everyone is living in her reality, which is the height of villainy. I heap all this praise on Kirara, and she hasn't even had a drawn out gamble yet, but I love her as a ruler, as a troll, and as a potential opponent for Yumiko. Among my favorites of the student council, Kirara ranks 3rd.
I gotta say, Rookie, even though you did sloppy at times, you didn't go into full detail, you're ugly,
Wait,
and
what?
you gave a half-ass effort, I gotta say, you still did a good job. Good work, my boy.
Well, thanks, asshole.
Well, I hope you got your coffee and donuts, because the next case is the Momo Bobby clan. You ready?
God damn it. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, people, that pretty much wraps up the student council. The next Kakegurui video will be me talking about the Momobami clan in the same format, excluding Kirari, Ririka, Yumiko, and Yumiko's sister. All right, they won't be included because I'm just going to be talking about the extended family that was introduced midway in the series. Now, I do want to ask your preference of the student council members. Who do you like? How would you rank them? But that's pretty much it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Satsuki the Savage, out.
Am I dying to live, or am I living to die? Living a lie, with my hands stressed out, see I'm stressed out.